That, my friends, was the International St. Patrick's Day Rubber Chicken War Cry, which means that St. Patrick's Day has officially started. And you know what that means? Not only is it the best day of the entire year and the best holiday on a planet Earth, but that also means I get to come back to some of the best horror movies that have ever been made. And that would be, my friends, the Leprechaun movies, okay? The legendary Warwick Davis shows up as the Leprechaun for like 7 movies. As like 6. Like 6 movies. And if you couldn't tell, St. Patrick's Day it might be my favorite holiday, okay? As you can see, we got everyone's dressed up. Even Ghostface has a hat on. Gerald grew a beard along with me. I grew a little bit of a nice leprechaun beard for today. And today I'm going to be reviewing the first Leprechaun movie, okay? I'm going to be rewatching it as I usually do every year, and I'm going to be giving you a nice little review of the movie and a walkthrough of what happens. It's going to be really fun, okay? But if you're new to this channel, then I recommend you go and subscribe, because I do a lot of like horror movie reviews and physical media reviews, and if you like extreme cinema, I torture myself by watching those too. And every holiday I do a nice little review of a holiday-themed horror movie, like this one. But yeah, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and after every 100 subscribers that I get, I do a milestone video of like extreme horror movies and stuff, so you should check that out. But now that you've subscribed for good luck, I am going to waste not a single second more. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna watch this movie, and we're gonna review it together and have the grandest old St. Patrick's Day you have ever had. Ooh, ow.
Wow.
Oh. Okay. You know, I'm not even gonna look at my hair, it doesn't matter. And we're back from watching the first. Ooh. My toe cracked that case open. I'm gonna get right into this review real quick. Okay. So, starting off, we have the opening scene, okay? We're at this nice old house in the 80s. I'm pretty sure it's 1980 something, and we're at this nice little white like shack house, kind of 1 floor, 1 basement. I don't know anyone who has 2 basements, but it's got a basement. And this drunk man steps out of this nice limousine. I'm pretty sure it's a limousine. It's a nice car. He drinks the rest of whatever alcohol he was drinking. He throws it on the ground, and he stumbles up to onto his porch, with his wife, who looks kind of dead inside. And we learn that this nice snazzy man, his name is Daniel O'Grady. He's Irish, okay? And he's drunk. That's crazy. I don't think you could be fully Irish and sober at the same time. I don't think that's possible. He's jibber-jabbering about some random stuff about being rich, and his wife is like, okay, just go to bed. Like, this is like a common occurrence. And he's like, no, actually, we are literally rich. We need to search for mansions tomorrow. She's like, elaborate, please. Mr. O'Grady gets a package. He takes a package off of the front porch, and he's like, did you get my mother's ashes? She's like, yeah, the package it's right there. And he opens it up and takes out this giant urn. This huge urn. She's like, what are you doing with my mother-in-law? Huh? What are you doing? He's like, this isn't my mother. And he takes the urn and he smashes her ashes against the porch, and it explodes, and he pulls out this nice little bag. He's like, it's gold! We're rich! So it turns out his mother's ashes isn't actually in the urn. It's a pack of 100 solid gold doubloons that he stole from a leprechaun, and now he's rich. They put all their luggage inside. She still kind of is, like, has no idea what's going on, which, as she should. She's like, oh, how about you go inside and I'll make you some tea, okay? So she goes in there, she starts making some tea for this man, and she hears this whispering. It's not really whispering. She hears this singing from this child, okay? She hears this, like, a nursery rhyme from this little kid, and it's coming from his suitcase that he laid on the ground. Spooky, he stuffed a kid in the suitcase, okay? That's what is kind of going through her mind, because the voice is like, help me, I can't breathe in here, I don't want to be in the suitcase anymore. So she opens the suitcase and out pops a mythical magical leprechaun. Oh my god, it's Warwick Davis dressed as a demonic 600-year-old leprechaun with magical abilities. Okay. And he scares her so badly that she trips and falls backwards down a flight of stairs into their singular basement. And she breaks her neck and dies. Unfortunately. I want to be a stunt double purely for falling downstairs in movies. That looks like really fun. Because I want to learn how to safely fall backwards down a flight of stairs. That intrigues me very much. She's dead. She got scared to death by a magical leprechaun. So the drunk 100% Irish man who just stole the leprechaun's gold hears all this commotion. He's like, I wonder what that is. That didn't sound very good. He goes in and he sees his wife is now 3 feet tall and is coming out of the kitchen with tea. And the leprechaun, if you couldn't tell, he can like mimic voices. He was like a 6-year-old girl when he was stuffed in the suitcase, but now he can speak just like his deceased wife. He's like, oh my god, what'd you do? He's like, oh yeah, your wife's dead. Should have told her to watch her step.
I should have told her to watch her step.
So he gets out a gun and he shoots him, okay? He shoots the leprechaun. And he's got a revolver and he pulls out a 4-leaf clover out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know where he got this 4-leaf clover, it just appears. And he's holding it like it's a crucifix against a demon. Okay, because apparently the only way to kill a leprechaun is a 4-leaf clover, which seems counterintuitive. Okay, that seems like the exact opposite. Like, I didn't think a 4-leaf clover would be bad for a leprechaun. You'd think it'd be the opposite, but that doesn't matter. It's the only way you can kill him. So he's like, oh my god, get the name of Jesus away from me. But it's literally just a plant, and he literally gets shot, I think, a few times. I don't know if it's one or a few. And a shot to the chest, like a revolver shot to the chest, is literally just like stunning the leprechaun. He'll pass out for a little bit, but then he'll get back up and keep going. Also, his blood is green, which is pretty radical because mine is also green, by the way, because I am a leprechaun. But he takes the leprechaun, he picks him up, he shoves him in a box, like a wooden box, and he nails it shut. And then sets the 4-leaf clover on top of it, and apparently that keeps him from doing anything, so now he's trapped in this box. And then he doused the thing in gasoline and was gonna light it on fire, but apparently the leprechaun can induce strokes through his mind. So he gave poor old Dan O'Grady a stroke and he died before he could light the match and light the thing on fire. I don't know why you would want to light it on fire if the only thing that can kill him is a 4-leaf clover. I don't really know why he trapped him in a box instead of just killing him with the clover, but that doesn't matter. So he had a stroke and died before he could kill the leprechaun. So now the thing's just stuck in a box in the basement of this little rundown house. 10 years later, okay, that was the first scene. The next scene is 10 years later. We got, I almost said this couple, it's not a couple. We have a father along with Jennifer Aniston in a Jeep driving to that same exact house that we were just at 10 years ago in the 80s. So now we're in the 90s, if you couldn't do math. They go to this house and apparently they're moving in. I don't know, I forgot if they said if it was just for the summer, but they're planning on redoing the entire house, so I would assume that they're actually moving in. This thing is completely destroyed. I mean, it is run down. The basement, like covered in cobwebs. There's actual tarantulas everywhere, but they're there, okay? And she is freaking out, okay? She's kind of like this, kind of like stuck up, kind of rich, prissy, like ew kind of girl. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I'm not living here, okay? I'm booking a hotel room and you can come visit me, Dad. You can live in this rundown piece of crap house. I'm getting out of here. So she leaves and she runs into quite possibly the hottest man. I mean, he's completely buff and his name is Nathan and he's carrying paint thinner. And they have like this little conversation about her going to a hotel room because she hates bugs. And he's like, wow, I think it's funny how much of a girl you are. And apparently she took a lot of offense from that comment of him saying that she's a girl. And she's like, well, I'm not, wait, hold on. Whoa. I'm not afraid of of tarantulas, or bugs, or cobwebs and stuff. And her dad comes out of the house and he's like, all right, we can move. I'm not going to fight you anymore. She's like, put those bags back in the house. We're not moving. We are not going anywhere. This man just called me a girl, and I'm going to literally live in this dump to prove a point to this man who I just met just because he's hot. So, she stays. She stays. So now we have the dad, who I don't know his name. It doesn't really matter. We have Jennifer Aniston, who I also don't know her name, so I'm just going to keep calling her Jennifer. This is also her first movie, by the way. This is the first movie she ever starred in. And we have Nathan, who's buff. That's all I need. He's buff and he likes painting houses. And he's part of a mini company or a little group of people called Three Guys That Paint. That's the name of the company. So there's Nathan, his little brother Alex, and we have Ozzy, who's the best character in the entire movie because there's something wrong with his brain. But we love him, okay? He's great. He's a great character. The Three Guys That Paint, the dad, I think, was also helping, and Jennifer are all painting this house, and they're doing it in the most sporadic and unorganized way I have ever seen anyone paint anything ever, okay? Ozzy's in the house alone, and he starts hearing a voice of a little girl, yet again with this nursery rhyme. I don't know what his deal is with these nursery rhymes, but he hears it coming from the basement, and any normal person would, of course, follow the small child's voice in a rundown, creepy basement with tarantulas who's singing like Ring Around the Rosie or something. And he hears it coming from the box down there, which conveniently is the same box that the leprechaun was trapped in 10 years prior. And he's still in there, okay? He's sleeping. He can't do anything because the four-leaf clover, even though it's dead and shriveled up and black, I don't know how it still has power, is set lightly on top of the box, which means he can't do anything. But Ozzy wipes that off the top of the box, and magically, because it's not on top, he can get out of the box. Which doesn't make any sense to me at all, because the leprechaun didn't come out the top of the box, he came out the side of the box, which wasn't being blocked to begin with. But he bursts out of the box, and he's there, and it's Warwick Davis, the leprechaun, and he's got magical powers, but oh my god, he wants his gold back, okay? Because O'Grady stole the gold and hid it from him, okay? So he hid it in a secret hiding place 10 years ago, and he's looking for his gold. But if the leprechaun is separated by his gold, his magical abilities are weak, okay? So he can do a little bit of magic, but he can't really do too much magic unless he's got... The more gold he has, the more power he's got, okay? And he immediately rips a bug off of his arm and starts eating it. I don't know why that was necessary for the movie, but I guess if you're trapped in a box for 10 years, you'll eat anything. He's threatening Ozzy's life for his gold, even though he's almost having a heart attack because he can't believe what he's seeing. And he runs up the stairs. Okay, the leprechaun shuts the door, but being that his powers are weak, Ozzy just opens the door back up and runs, and the leprechaun's like, ugh. I think he said exactly that, as I recall. So Ozzy runs out to the other people who are now still painting the house on the outside. And what he's doing now is he's like, oh my god, guys, there's a leprechaun down there. There's a leprechaun. It's trying to polish my shoes. It broke out of a box. It's looking for its gold. It tried to kill me. Help. So they all go down there, they find a rat, they're like, you're an idiot, Ozzy, okay? I know something's actually wrong with your brain, but you need to stop. He's like, no, but there was actually a leprechaun, and I promise you, he said he was a shoemaker, and he was trying to polish my shoes, I swear to God. But they don't find anything. But the leprechaun is free now, and he wants his gold. So they come out of the basement after they didn't find the leprechaun. Shocker. The most unrealistic rainbow appears in the sky. It's huge. It covers up the entire thing. And Ozzy's like, oh, it's a rainbow. And Alex is like, will you shut up? It's just a rainbow. Who cares? He's like, no, it's a magic rainbow.
It's a magic rainbow.
I like that part of the movie quite a bit. I don't know. It makes me happy. It makes me laugh. I love Ozzy. He's great. He's like, I'm gonna go to the end of that rainbow. And Alex is like, dude, that's not possible. Okay, there aren't any ends of rainbows. And he runs, he slips, he falls down a hill, and then, oh my god, he finds the end of the rainbow literally like 2 minutes later. And it leads to an old rusty pickup truck. On the inside of the truck, they find one singular gold coin. Ozzy's like, I know how to prove that this is real gold. Because I've seen it in the movies, and the movies never lie, where if I bite the coin, I know it's real. I'm pretty sure if you bite it and it like bends, then it's real because gold is like malleable and stuff. I'm not a scientist. I am almost as dumb as Ozzy is, so don't take that as fact. I don't know what I'm talking about. But he ends up not biting it. He ends up swallowing the entire coin.
Oh my God.
The whole thing. He put the whole coin in his mouth. It's like the whole thing. He shoved this in his mouth and he swallowed it. I have trouble swallowing, like, Skittles as a practice for swallowing pills. And this man swallowed an entire gold coin dry. Like, he didn't even, he didn't have a drink or anything. He raw dogged the coin down his throat and into his stomach. He's like, oh, whoops, I accidentally swallowed the gold coin. It's in my stomach now. And he's like, can I die from swallowing gold? And Alex is like, you know what, I kind of hope so at this point. But they keep searching the car, and then this whole bag of 99 more coins shows up magically in this nice little golden puff of magical wisdom and stuff. And thank God Ozzy didn't start eating them like a bag of chips, because I would not have put that past him at all. And now they're rich, and they're keeping this information from everybody because they're like, adults, we can't tell any adults because they will 100% just take it from us, which they 100% would have, okay? In a real situation, adults suck. Okay, they would have just taken the bag. So they hid it in a well, alright? They hid it in a well and told nobody about it, and they kept one of the coins. We'll get to that in a little bit. The whole reason why they hid the coins was because Alex was telling Ozzy that he can go to the hospital and get an operation to fix his brain, to make him smarter.
We can get you an operation
For what?
to make you smart.
If that was true, number one, the government would hide it from us. So it probably is true and we don't know about it. Number two, if that was true and the government didn't hide it from us, the world would be such a better place, okay? Because we are surrounded by idiots. You can't do that, unfortunately. You can only get a lobotomy and make you dumber. There's no reverse lobotomy, unfortunately, and that's the reason why they're keeping the gold, to save up for the operation that does not exist. So then we cut back to the people who are still painting the house, and Jennifer goes to get more paint from the back of the truck, and the leprechaun starts army crawling underneath the pickup truck and starts caressing her legs with his like 9-inch fingernails, and she like lets it happen. The leprechaun scratches her legs and runs into the woods. But the dad runs over and Nathan runs over because she starts screaming because her leg is bleeding from her secret admirer who is underneath the truck, and they hear a meow. A very menacing meow from the woods, and the dad's like, it must be a stray cat, let me go catch it. Let me go catch it. I don't know, that's not really my first thought, is to catch whatever animal just violently scraped somebody's leg in broad daylight, because that usually means it has rabies. But he goes over to a tree with a hole in it, a very deep hole, and he shoves his whole arm into the tree, but blindly. But that is not... My first reaction to finding a deep, dark, black hole in the base of a tree is not to stick my arm elbow deep into it to try and grab whatever rabid animal just scratched my daughter's leg. Okay, that's not really... Just leave it. But obviously it wasn't a rabid cat, it was a syphilis-ridden leprechaun who then... It was a leprechaun with syphilis who then bit the father's hand real bad. Like, really bad, because the man's teeth are insane. And he rips it out and, like, acts like he had no idea this was even a possible outcome for shoving his hand into a tree with a wild animal in it. Had no idea that it would bite his fingers off. So they all rush into the car, which then doesn't work. Also a shocker, which Alex has to keep going out and fixing the engine for it to start, which couldn't possibly be foreshadowing for a future event that'll be much more intense than this one. But they rush the father to the hospital, and we don't see him for the rest of the movie, by the way. This is it. Nathan and Jennifer Aniston go to lunch together, and Ozzy and Alex go and bring the one coin that they saved, that they didn't shove in the well, to an antique expert, who then analyzes it and stuff, and then they go to dinner. So they give the one coin to this man, this innocent, poor man, And what they didn't know is that the leprechaun chased them to the hospital on a tricycle. He opens a safe and oh my god, the leprechaun comes out of the safe. He bites his leg, the man falls to the ground. The leprechaun gets a pogo stick and starts bouncing around the room on a pogo stick and starts impaling him with the stick, with the pogo stick. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think a pogo stick could create puncture wounds in somebody, especially if a leprechaun is the one manning the vehicle, but he kills the man via pogo stick and takes his 1 gold coin back, which gives him power. That's the first gold coin he got. Now his powers are back a little bit. A little tiny bit, just that 1 coin. The next scene we have is our leprechaun making a break for it in an electric toy car on the highway. He got pulled over by a cop who was, you're not gonna believe it, eating a donut, okay? He got pulled over by the cop who was convinced that this was a child. I mean, I don't know how you can look at that man and go, yes, that is a child. But he's like, take that mask off and get out of the car. Aren't you a little too young to be driving? And the leprechaun stabs holes in his forehead with his, once again, 9-inch nails, and the cop runs into the woods. They start playing hide and seek together. He throws his only weapon into the woods. He takes the baton. He was not even close. The leprechaun ran behind a tree, and once the leprechaun was gone, he's like, it's gone. His baton is gone because the leprechaun also took his gun and threw it, and he didn't, bother to pick it up. So he threw his only weapon at a tree. So he deserves what's coming next, okay? Because the cop hid behind a tree. Warwick Davis jumped from the top of that tree and snapped his neck in half. There's a lot of neck breaking. There's a lot of being shot, and there's a lot of scratching and biting happening in this movie. It literally is like a rabid cat. So once he takes care of that cop problem, he goes back to the old house, still in search for his gold, alright? He's desperate to get the other 99 coins for himself, and he starts ripping all of the cereal out of everything. He starts destroying the house trying to find these coins, and we learn that he has a crippling obsession with polishing shoes because he's a shoemaker. Okay, the leprechauns are shoemakers. They like polishing things. So he takes all of the shoes out of the house and starts polishing all of them and lines them all in a row neatly on the table and then leaves. Then our main characters come back, all right? The father is still at the hospital. Once again, we're never going to see him again, so I'm going to stop mentioning him at this point in the video because he does not matter anymore. We have Jennifer Aniston, we have Alex, we have his big brother, Nathan, the hot guy, and we have Ozzy Osbourne, okay? And they all go into the house, and they're like, I think we've been robbed. I think something's not right. There's cereal all over the floor. Nathan has the bright idea of saying, hey, I think this was a bear. This was right after he looked at the newly polished shoes all neatly in line and was like, it's gotta be a bear. It has to be a bear. They break in all the time, and everyone believed him. Everyone believed him because at this point in the movie, none of them actually believe that the leprechaun is real because Ozzy Osbourne is the only one who has seen the leprechaun. Okay, everybody keeps calling him crazy. Alex and Ozzy know about the gold. No one else knows about the gold. No one believes in the leprechaun right now. Okay, the leprechaun's going around killing people. No one knows it exists because they're like, that's a fairy tale. He doesn't exist. It must be a bear. So Nathan goes out of the house with a shotgun. He starts walking around, he trips over a barrel, and luckily, his shin lands in a bear trap. I don't know where the bear trap came from. I don't know who set the bear trap. I'm assuming it was the leprechaun. I don't know where he got the bear trap from. It just showed up. So they hear all of this commotion, they run out, they find Nathan bleeding to death in a bear trap, and this small man in a green hat beating him with like a stick or something. And they all start hitting him. It's a really, it's not a very intense fight, okay? You're watching it, you're kind of like, why am I watching this again? But it's not very intense. It kind of reminded me of the My Bloody Valentine kind of final fight where it's very anticlimactic. But they all start beating him. Ozzy calls the cops, says there's a leprechaun on the loose, so naturally the cops don't show up because why would they? Nathan takes the gun and no-scopes the leprechaun in the chest with a shotgun, and he flies into a nearby bush. And then this man gets up and he shoots The rest of the rounds, okay, he shoots 5 rounds into the bush that the leprechaun isn't even in anymore, okay? 5. Every protagonist of in any horror movie always just drains all of the ammo from whatever gun they have immediately, okay, into nothing. They're always shooting nothing all of the time. 5 shotgun rounds into a bush the leprechaun isn't even in anymore. He goes around the corner, he's like, oh, he's gone. I must have got him. So they all go back inside, okay, and they treat Nathan's wound, which honestly, they should just let him bleed out because that pissed me off. Ozzy's like, do you believe me now? Like, did that look like a leprechaun to you? And they're like, can you shut up and go get some bandages because Nathan's bleeding out, he's gonna die. So they bandage up his leg and stuff because once again, the bear trap got him. And Nathan's like, no, dude, he's dead. I put 6 rounds into that man. And just for re-clarification, no, he didn't, okay? He put 1 shotgun round, which, to be honest, for a leprechaun, should have killed him. Don't say you put 6 rounds into him, okay? You put 1 round into a leprechaun, and you put 5 rounds into a bush, okay? Don't do this to me. So they get out, they're like, we need to find Mr. O'Grady, because apparently Mr. O'Grady isn't actually dead. He did have the stroke, but he's in a home now. Mr. O'Grady is in a home somewhere. So naturally what they do next is they load themselves into this car. And oh my god, do you remember about that time where I said there's going to be foreshadowing of some sort at some point? Because of this car that doesn't ever work? Now's that scene. The car doesn't work. So they send the, 10-year-old child out to go fix the car. They're like, Alex, you go do it. While there is a rabid leprechaun with syphilis on the loose. He goes over, he pops the trunk, and the leprechaun is, eating the car battery. I don't know what's going on. There's this whole scene where he's attacking the car, he breaks through the windshield, he bites Ozzy's ear off. The leprechaun stops fighting and then runs into the barn after Jennifer Aniston takes the cigarette lighter and shoves it into his nose. So he's in the barn doing stuff, and instead of, running away or trying to fix the car now that the leprechaun is gone, they sit there and they wait for him to do something. They wait to see what his next move's gonna be. They're like, what is he doing in there? It's like, dude, fix the truck or run. Do something. Why are you sitting in the truck? You'll never guess what happens next. This leprechaun bursts out of the barn and yet again another electric car. It's a different one. It looks like some medieval torture device that he's running around with a pitchfork strapped to the front of it. And he rams this puny little remote control car that he's riding into the side of the pickup truck. And the pickup truck explodes and does a barrel roll over a hill. This thing is short enough to just have drove underneath the truck, but somehow, in some way, he flipped it. He flipped the entire pickup truck over 4 times with this remote control car. So this time they didn't sit in the truck because it was, flipped over and destroyed. So they ran into the house and the leprechaun chases them. They shut his hand into the door and chops it off completely. They have a whole fight scene in this house where he's doing a whole bunch of funky stuff. He's riding around on this skateboard. They push him into an oven and his hand gets stuck on the burner and he takes a spatula and he scrapes his hand off of the burner to get it off. I thought that was really entertaining. But there's a whole bunch of things. He gets shot again with a shotgun and he disappears. And there is another cool scene where they call the police again, but it's actually the leprechaun. And they pull a Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy's tongue sticks through it, except the leprechaun's hand sticks through the phone this time, which I thought was kind of a cool reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought that was pretty cool. But eventually Alex spills the beans. He's like, yeah, the leprechaun's he's after his gold. Okay, he's killing us because he's after the gold. It's in the well. Just go give it to him. So Jennifer Aniston goes out with a shotgun once again. She takes the gold out of the well. The leprechaun teleports. Okay, he appears out of nowhere. She gives him the gold and he goes into a corner and starts counting all of the gold. And they're like, we did it. He's done. He got what he wanted. He got the gold. We're safe now. Oh, wait. No, you're not. Because he counted 99 gold doubloons, okay? He's missing one. How dare they steal gold from a leprechaun? You tricked me. You can't do that to me. That's not fair. You gave me 99 of my coins. Oh, where's the last one? And they won't tell him, okay? Because the last one, if you forgot, is in Ozzy Osbourne's stomach. Okay? It's in his gullet. All right? It's in there, digesting. They grab a box of shoes and they head outside. Okay, to another truck. I don't know. I don't think this is the one that was flipped over. I think it's a different one. They distracted him by throwing his polished shoes that he just polished, that the bear just polished, and started throwing them all over the ground. And that apparently he has a, like, he needs an intervention with this because he has a crippling addiction to polishing shoes. It's a problem. He starts going and picking up all of the shoes and repolishing them and then just throwing them back on the ground. Like, what was the point of even it doesn't matter. And then she gets away and she drives to this nursing home. She sneaks past this cop and goes into the room where Daniel O'Grady is. And of course, right away you can tell something's a little off with poor old Daniel because he's in this wheelchair. He's looking out the window. He's like, yeah, there's one way to kill a leprechaun, but I'm not going to tell you. And he turns around and oh my god, it's the leprechaun in a wig. He's in a wig, in a curly-haired wig. And he starts chasing her in a wheelchair. So he starts wheeling himself. This is like midnight. This is the middle of the night now. And Jennifer Aniston just barely makes it into this elevator. And apparently, the leprechaun tried killing Daniel O'Grady and shoved him into the roof of the elevator where he starts dangling. All right, so he hangs, he starts dangling. There's blood all over his face. He's like choking. You can barely even understand what he's saying. She's like, oh, hey, are you Daniel? And he's like, yeah.
I knew that the leprechaun would come for me eventually.
He sounded just like that, I'm pretty sure.
The only way to stop the leprechaun is a 4-leaf clover.
And then he dies very dramatically because that's usually how things go. Is they let out. It's either they let it out right before they die or they die right before they let it out. In this case, told him how to kill him. A 4-leaf clover. So Jennifer drives all the way back and she found a nice little clover patch in the backyard, which was like obnoxiously lit with like this green lighting to make it look like mystical and magical and stuff, which I thought was really funny. So she starts sifting through all of these clovers in hopes to find a 4-leaf clover to kill the leprechaun. But she doesn't find it because the leprechaun shows up and grabs her arm and she runs away. Oh my god, and there's the cop car. There's a cop car right down the road. She runs all the way down the hill. It was kind of impressive. I don't know how she didn't fall. I would have fallen right on my face. But she finds the dead cop that the leprechaun killed earlier and literally gets into the car, okay? And the leprechaun pops up. She shoves a baton into his eyeball. He loses his eyeball, and what he does is he digs the eyeball out of the dead cop and puts it into his face. But while he was doing that to replace the eyeball that was just poked out of his head, he gets shot again. This leprechaun has been shot like 15 times. Okay, I'm pretty sure they shot him in the face while he was putting an eyeball into his head. And it was Nathan. Alright, Nathan came back once again with a gun, shot him in the face, and was like, I heard the screaming and commotion. What's going on? She's like, we have to find a 4-leaf clover to kill him. We gotta find a 4-leaf clover. So that's what they do. They head over to the clover patch, and they all start looking this time. Alright, so she's got backup. They look for about a whopping 5 minutes before Jennifer gives up. She's like, this is too much work. I can't go on any longer. There's got to be a better way to kill the leprechaun. We're never going to find one. And through the power of friendship and magic, and probably Jesus Christ himself, out of frustration, Jennifer Aniston grabs a handful of grass, and in the midst of it, through all of those tangled clumps of blades of grass, she finds a very fake-looking, but still, it doesn't matter, a 4-leaf clover. Now, after they find this 4-leaf clover, they go back to the house, okay? The leprechaun wakes up yet again from his 15th gunshot wound that he's just just a little scratch. He tackles Ozzy because Ozzy distracts him. He's like, I actually ate the one doubloon that you're looking for. It's in my stomach. So he takes his shoe buckle off of his shoe and starts cutting his face open with it, which I don't know how that's going to get your gold coin back. But that's what he started doing. Alex took the gum out of his mouth and wrapped the 4-leaf clover in his chewed wad of gum, stuck it in a slingshot, and shot that right down his throat. Right down the throat of the leprechaun, and he started choking on it. Could you imagine somebody taking a wad of chewed gum out of their mouth and launching it down your throat? That's disgusting. Okay, that is horrible. He starts choking and starts melting. Okay, so he starts melting into this green ooze. It's actually really cool practical effects, I will admit. It's actually pretty sick. And he trips and falls backwards all the way down the well that his gold came from. There's all these cool practical... It's not practical. It's special effects. It's very poor CGI because it's the 90s. It's big. It's dramatic. It's really cool. And guess what? He pops back up. All right, he gets back up because he's gotten back up every single time he's been shot. And apparently it didn't kill him. And he's like, I need my gold. And Nathan takes a gun. He didn't shoot him this time, luckily. He did not shoot him. What he did do, though, is he took the butt end of the stock of the shotgun and he bludgeoned his face in and then shoved him back down into the well. And then lit the well on fire. He doused the well. He poured gasoline down the well. Number one, it's a well, dude. There's water at the bottom of it. What? He poured gasoline down a stone well with water at the bottom, lit a match, threw it down there, and the whole thing blew up just for good measure. I do not know how that's even possible, but the stone well stayed lit on fire for hours because it was morning by the time that the cops got there. And that's it, actually. Yeah. I mean, the leprechaun died. It was just him. You could hear him speaking in the well, being like, I will never rest until I get my gold, because there's one doubloon, except I don't know how he's going to get it back until Ozzy f***s it out. Happily ever after. We don't ever see the dad again. Ozzy, unfortunately, does not get a surgery to fix his brain, and the leprechaun didn't get his gold, unfortunately. And guess what? There's 7 more movies after this, except Warwick Davis doesn't play the leprechaun in The Leprechaun Returns, which was like a 2015-ish around there release, which is the only other movie that's directly tied to the lore. All of the other ones are amazing. They are amazing. I think they're all kind of like, they're all just for fun. They're not really lore-driven. The rest of them are him going to Vegas and killing people. There's one of him in space killing people, and they spent 2 movies of him in the hood. 2 movies. Okay? 2. They're separate movies. Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood. So if you want a review on those, let me know, and I'll make those eventually. But yeah, there you go. That is the first Leprechaun movie from the 90s, 1993. There you go. I love these movies. I love them all. Honestly, the first one's not even my favorite. I love all of them. They get better. I will do a franchise killer episode where I watch all of these eventually. I just don't know when. And this is probably going to be just as long as a franchise killer episode. So it feels like I've only been talking for 10 minutes. I've been talking for about an hour and a half. That is literally the length of the movie. I don't know how I managed to do this every time. But yeah, there you go. That's The Leprechaun. Hope you enjoyed that review. If you liked the video, once again, make sure to subscribe, please. And check out the rest of my videos. If you like holidays, I have a whole bunch of holiday special reviews. I'll probably make like a playlist with all those now. Subscribe, watch my videos, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and if you're watching to the very end of the video, which, in case you didn't know, is right spanking now, Mr. O'Gerald here has got a nice little, He's got a gift for you, okay? If you comment down below, don't you dare ingest my gold, I will pin you. I will pin you in the comment section. You should do it because I love St. Patrick's Day, and you'll go down in history to be the one who is pinned at the top of the comment section of my first ever St. Patrick's Day video. Oh my god. because I'm going to be famous one day. Isn't that right, Gerald? Mr. O'Gerald. Thank you very much for watching. You made my day. I hope you have an amazing St. Patrick's Day, and if you don't usually celebrate it, hopefully now you have the inspiration to celebrate it because it's a beautiful holiday, and you get to be as messy as you want, and it still looks good, okay? And to round out this first ever St. Patrick's Day episode, we have, once again, our mystical St. Patrick's Day rubber chicken war cry to round everything out, and I hope you all get plastered. Mm.